Hi guys, it's Bob from Greybeard Models. Welcome back. It's about time we did a catch up on the Panzer. I've just been doing there's a lot of work on the inside, the internal details. I want to give a shout out actually to Rims Models, Rob over there at Rims Models. I know he's done this kit, and I don't know, his videos made it look really easy. It isn't. It is actually quite a technical kit, and I've really enjoyed what I'm doing. But enough of me waffling. Let's get over to the bench and I'll show you where I'm at. Well, this is as far as I've got with the Panzer at the moment. It's incredibly complicated kit. It's the first time I've ever done a kit this complex, I must admit. This is really testing me, and I quite like that. I quite like the idea that I'm being tested. These parts, you know, this particular section here, this section here, this, I mean, they're all miniature kits in themselves, and it's a really quite a challenging build. I'm really enjoying it because it is really making me stop and think and sort of work stuff out and all the rest of it. It's great. It's great stuff. It's great. I'm really enjoying it. The shells here in this compartment, they've all there's decals on the top. I don't know if you can actually make them out, but there's actually decals on the tops of all of these shells, and these shells here, there's decals along the side of the casings there. It's a really nice build. There's some great detail. The control dials here on this, which is the transmission, I believe. The reason I believe that is because I think the engine actually sits in here. We haven't even got there yet, but there's a hell of a lot of detail stuff going on. If I just take that away for a minute and bring that in, these are the I don't know what these actually are. I don't know if they're the brakes or something, but the complexity of that build is a mini kit in itself. They are really good, and they really, you know, they really do test you. So it's great. I'm enjoying all of it, however complex it is. But yeah, it's a great little kit, and what we'll do is we'll move on and do a bit more, and I'll come back to you. Okay, so we're a few hours later down the track, and as you can see, I've got the sides on here, and I've also noticed there's a few things that need touching up in terms of paint, but hey, you know, it's to be expected. This is quite complicated. So I've got the sides all stuck together now, just making sure that everything is lined up properly, just trying to get everything to sit square and in place, which they are, which is quite good, but it's quite tricky getting these fronts together. Was quite tricky. You'll notice there's one of the little photo etch parts there which is shining, that actually popped off, so I've had to re-stick that in place. Getting all of this to line up is quite tricky. These parts here come forward in line with this bracket here, and the same on that side with this bracket here, and it's all quite, these are parts that you couldn't go ahead and dry fit, if you know what I mean. they're just, you just wouldn't think that they're going to be lined up. There's nothing to indicate that that lines up with that and that lines up with that. But certainly, you know, if you've made one of these before, you'll know that it will. But yeah, they're all there, and then, you know, it's quite tricky to get all of that to line up, but I managed to get it in place. Everything's in place. I'm quite happy with it. Like I say, all the sides are in place. Done a whole load of stuff. Got some decals on as well. We've got, as I said, we've got the shelf cabinet, the shell cabinet there, and everything seems to be going together quite nicely. So I'm quite pleased with that, and that's where we are. So we'll move on. The next thing is there's some on here. There's some red pipework. Now, assembling the red pipework, got a base coat of red, and when I've tried to line them all up, there's actually a really shocking misalignment there, and in fact that's just gone out of alignment as well, so that I'm going to need to really sort of trick that around to get that to line up. But I've put in a piece of evergreen rod in there, some plastic rod, to try and line that up, and I'm going to go in and unglue that and line it up again, just to get that into a good position. And then once all that's in a good position, then we can put that into place in there where it's supposed to be. But yeah, a bit of a shame that, so I'm going to have to, you know, as you can see on this side, it's quite a little bit misaligned, so I'm going to have to realign that, and also just to tidy it up anyway. So it'll get there, but it's a bit tricky. And it's going to be, I think that's going to be my phrase for this kit. It's a bit tricky. I've still got to do some more weathering. I want to put some weathering on the floor in there. This is like a checker plate floor, so I want to put some weathering on that. This got weathered, and I want to get some more weathering in there. Then I'm going to do some rust and rust effects along on these panels, and some chipping and stuff like that, just to give it extra little bits of weathering. And then I've got the other thing to do is there's two shell cases that sit across there. Got to get those all lined up and get those put together. I've got the shells made, and I've got the cases made, but they need to be painted, so I'm going to get those painted and lined up. So yeah, and then they'll get into position as well. And the other thing on these red parts, there's some detail hose connections on there, so I've got to get those painted, and that one painted there. And also there's another part of it there, so that's got to be touched up, and there's some paint to a hose connection to be made there. And this part here sits here, so we've got that in place. It's got its decal on, but again, that's got to have some detail painting on the end here. So there's still loads of bits to do. I mean, this is the level of detail you sort of get so far, and then all of a sudden things, you know, you just got to wait. But I've got the sides on. They're held together in place with some what do you call it? Oh dear, I'm sure I'm starting to suffer from Alzheimer's, you know, because every now and again I'll get a word comes into my head and I can't remember what it is. But anyway, that's held together with masking tape. I did have it clamped, I've got some big sash clamps, or relatively big sash clamps. So I had it all clamped into place, and it's held in place now. But I'd just rather than have the heavy clamps around it, now that the glue's started to bond, I've just gone over it with the masking tape to hold it in place. So that's all good to go. I think that's where we are at the moment, and yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you found that interesting, and like to see your comments and stuff below. Thanks for watching, and to all my subscribers out there, have a good day. Happy modelling.